Hi, this is Betty, and I'm doing a video today on blocking weeds. We've tried a lot of things in trying to figure out how to control the weeds. We have a problem with Bermuda grass, and first it started in one section in the yard, and it just spread like crazy, which became insane because they came up in our raised garden beds. First we tried black plastic. And my dad was a master gardener back in the 80s and 90s, and he used black plastic. He was retired and was doing other things and didn't want to be home weeding all day. So he used that in his garden, and it worked out very well for him. For us, we have used it on and off. It's not very ecological friendly. So we've been trying to figure out other things that we can do. First, we used landscape cloth, and we used that out in our front yard in our flower bed. Landscape cloth does need to be replaced at least every other year because the weeds eventually come up through it. So I didn't want to go to the expense of using it in our garden because I redo the beds every fall. We clean them out and we add more manure and compost and everything else, and so you don't want to have to deal with that. We've heard about wood chips and how people have used those. I use them in my chicken run, and I use them in our pathways, but I also didn't want to have to be worried about the nitrogen issue when you put them in the garden beds. They tend to take away the nitrogen from the soil. I didn't want to deal with that. Our pathways were also a huge problem. You can see the weeds are already starting to come along the edges. Anyway, we first started using the cardboard in the pathways, and that has been amazing. One year we used black plastic. That lasted for years, but then again, it doesn't help the soil, and so we needed something different for our garden beds. Some people have suggested pea gravel, ground cover. Again, I don't want ground cover coming up through my garden beds. I have found that cardboard is the winner for us. It's good for the ecosystem. Bugs love it, and worms especially, and they'll eat it, and then they go ahead and enrich the soil. And in the fall, when we let the chickens in our garden, they clean everything up, and they love to scratch through the cardboard to find the bugs. In the pathways, we are planning on adding more cardboard, and then I think what I'll do, if I can get enough, I'm going to put wood chips on top of the cardboard. But we live in an area where there's not a lot of trees, and so getting wood chips can be very expensive, or they're just hard to come by. I know that you can go to chipdrop.com and order some free wood chips, and they'll deliver them to your house. But we have found that you can be on that waiting list where we live for a year or two. My daughter's been on it for 2 years waiting for her first drop of wood chips. So whatever works for you, I found that cardboard is readily available. It does block the weeds. It helps enrich the soil. And I think it's a win-win. Anyway, I'd love to hear about what you're using for weed blockers in your garden. Bye.